Hello everyone, a very good evening. Welcome to Oliveboard. This is the JAIIB Foundation May 2025 for the RBWM paper, and today we are going to cover the unit 8 of module B, which is the important retail liability products. This is one of the most important units from our RBWM syllabus, and it contains the various details about the liability products on the asset side. On the liability side, that is the different types of deposits, the savings account, current account, recurring deposit, fixed deposit, what are the documents required for opening a current account, then what are the eligible individuals for opening a type of account, then what is the sweep in sweep out facility, nomination. All of these things are covered in this chapter, so it becomes very important for you to study in detail, in depth, about all of these topics. Today we are going to have uh, an introduction of all of these products that are offered by the banks on the retail side. So first type of deposit is the current account under the CASA deposits, current account and savings account. The main characteristic of the current deposit account is that it is opened by the businessmen. Why? Because they require higher number of regular transactions. So there are no limits on the transactions of depositing money or withdrawing money from the account. So the current account is opened by the businessmen, and it includes the deposits, withdrawals, as well as the contra transaction, and the amount can be deposited and withdrawn at any time without giving any notice, either through check or online banking. The account holders, they can withdraw and deposit any amount in their account at any time, and it is suitable for those individuals who are making regular payments to the creditors by using checks and online banking. So the customers are allowed to withdraw the amount using checks and online banking as well. Another very important characteristic is that the current account holders do not get any interest. In the savings deposit or in the fixed deposit, interest is earned by the account holders, but in the current account holders or the current account deposits, no interest is paid by the bank on the balance that is lying outstanding in the current account with the bank. And however, the one important facility or advantage that the current account holder may get is the advantage of overdraft facility. So these are the basic characteristics of the current account, which comes under the demand deposit. It is a type of CASA deposit. So here these accounts are meant to run a business. It is a non-interest bearing account, and it needs a higher minimum balance to be maintained as compared to the savings account, and penalty is charged if it is not maintained. There are charges which are imposed on the short term funds or overdraft which is borrowed from the bank. So overdraft is a type of borrow, right? And it is of a continuing nature. There need no be no fixed period to hold a current account, right? And then the bankers, they require KYC norms to be completed. Basically, this account is to enable the businessmen to conduct their business transactions smoothly, and the banks, they do not pay any interest. So there are advantages of the current account to the customer, right? They can withdraw from their accounts without any limit at any time without giving prior notice. They can also obtain overdraft, which is a sort of short term borrowing. Third party checks and checks with endorsements can also be deposited, right? And it also provides a deposit and withdrawal of money at any location, multi location fund transfer, electronic fund transfer. So all of these are the advantages. Now when the account is opened, then certain documents are required. Like for the individual, the officially valid document which is mentioned in the master directions has to be obtained by the bank. Then for the documents required by a sole proprietary firm is different, like the registration certificate or the certificate document issued by the sales tax department authorities, license or certificate of practice. Then partnership firms require the registration of certificate, partnership deed. The limited liability firms, all of these things are there. Earlier, uh, there were certain operational instructions in the current account which required the transfer of accounts. For that, as per the recommendations of the Damodaran committee, it is a very important committee which was set up on the customer service. So now IBA has given direction for implementing the facility of account number portability. So even if the current account holder, they are changing the city, still they can maintain the same account number in a bank. So a customer is allowed to maintain the same account number in a bank even when she or he moves to another city, or they shift their account to another branch in the same city. So even if they're changing cities or they're changing branch, they will now have the facility of account number portability. Regarding the inoperative accounts, so in current accounts where there are no operations for continuously 2 years, then such accounts should be treated as the inoperative account. And then the banks, they recover the incidental charges every half year to the debit of the inoperative accounts. And it can also be later on made operative if the bank is satisfied with the reason for the non-operation. There are reasons for the closure of the current account as well. Another type of deposit or demand account is a savings bank account. So the current account was for the business class, but savings bank account is for the needs of the individuals. So the individuals, they have requirements to make a variety of payments such as electricity bills, telephone, water bills, school fees. Therefore, they require an account that helps them to make regular payments without having cash to use. All right, so for making regular payments, also to create the savings habit among the individuals. They would also like to keep some amount in their savings account for meeting their near future expenditure. And another advantage is that at the same time they can earn some interest as well. So the savings bank account has been designed to meet the needs of individuals. These accounts can be opened singly or jointly, and RBI has prohibited banks for opening the savings bank account of the business entities. So some interest is also earned on the balance which is maintained in the account, plus regular payments can be made through the account by the individuals. Then it shows the income of a salaried person that is earned during the year. It can also, the savings account passbook can be used as an identity and residential proof of the account holder for doing online shopping, internet banking, keeping records of all the online transactions, digital transactions. These are the importance or advantages to the customers. Also, banks also have certain advantages of savings bank deposits, like savings deposits. These accounts provide a broad retail deposit base. They're relatively stable in nature, potential customer base for cross-selling and upselling. Now, who all can open a savings bank account and what documents are required for the savings bank account of a minor? What are the conditions? The minor should be able to read and write. Then they should be signed by the account document should be signed by the minor in the presence of an official of the bank who should be able to identify the minor. Such steps should be taken. Then savings bank account can also be opened for the illiterates. There are separate terms and conditions for that. For blind persons, then for the handicapped, old or sick persons who is going to maintain the account, who is going to um, on their person who's on their behalf who's going to operate the account, right? So all of these conditions are there. Then we have the third type of deposit, which is a time deposit. In the savings bank or in the current account deposit, the facility of withdrawal and deposits at any time was available, was allowed. But in the time deposit, there is a fixed limit before which the withdrawal cannot be made, or the deposit cannot be made. The deposit will be made at one point only. So the time deposit is a contract entered into by the bank with the depositor to pay a fixed or determinable future date, the amount of money deposited plus the interest. So what is the advantage if we are saying that this type of deposit is not liquid? Then what is the advantage? Why would people open a fixed deposit? Because they are going to earn a higher rate of interest. So the time deposit receipt is not a negotiable instrument. It cannot be transferred by endorsement. in favor of another depositor. Fixed deposits are repayable only after the expiry of a specified term, and they're not as liquid as the savings deposit, but the interest that is earned is higher than the savings deposit. Then the periodicity of the time deposit differs. Banks, the minimum period is 7 days for 15 lakhs and above, right? Then the maximum period for the deposits not exceeding 120 months. So it can be created in the multiples of 3 months, like 15 months, 18 months, 21 months, and so on. Usually, the longer the time period for the account, higher is the interest rate, but that is not always the norm, right? Interest on the fixed deposit is called the cumulative FD or compound FD, where the interest can also be reinvested in the FD account. So all of these things are there. Then the conditions for the premature payment of the FD. Although the banks, they may refuse to make premature payment, but in the case of genuine needs of the customer, the payment can be made. So the penalty will be imposed, and it differs from one bank to another. All right. Then we have the two-in-one account. This is a new type of account. It is a value-added facility that is provided by the banks now. So the banks recently have come up with the value-added savings bank or current deposit and the fixed deposit linked account. So what is happening here? The savings deposit is used for making the regular payments. If, let's say, we do not have sufficient funds in our savings bank deposit to make a payment, so what will happen? We can use the sweep in facility, and we can transfer some amount from the fixed deposit. So these deposits are linked with our fixed deposit. They represent a combination of two schemes, mostly running account like SB or current account, which offer flexibility of using the balance in the fixed deposit account at the time of need. So such sweepbacks are known as the last in, first out. Basically, the last deposit is broken to meet the shortfall in the operating account. So there's a feature to sweep the excess balance in a running account to create a fixed deposit. So what is happening here? Interest will be earned on the deposit that is swept in the fixed deposit. And again, this product is named differently in different banks, such as the super savings bank account or money multiplier or super saver facility, sweep in facility, and so on. So the customers, they will get a benefit. There's the auto sweep facility, which offers the maximum returns, right? So the sweep facility, they carry the rate of interest that is applicable to the fixed deposit. There's a reverse sweep facility also in case of shortfall in the savings bank account to honor any debit transaction. What can be done? The multiples of 1000 are broken and they're transferred to the running account from the fixed deposit, right? So these options are there with the customer. Another type of deposit is the recurring deposit. This is basically for the salaried individuals if they want to keep a certain amount of the regular salary in the fixed deposit. So it helps the customers with regular income to save a fixed amount every month and at the same time earn the interest as applicable to the fixed deposit. So it is also for a fixed period, and then what we can do once the fixed period is over, we can again give the order and make the recurring deposit operating again. So the banks, they also allow premature payment of the RD on certain terms and conditions. They also provide loans against the RD, but the banks are required to fulfill the KYC norms before they are opening the recurring deposit account. All right. So the recurring deposit can be opened by a person in their own name or by more than one persons in the joint names, even by a minor of age 10 years and above, according to the terms that are laid down by the banks. On the liability side, we also have the nomination facility, which is made available to all the types of deposit holders, irrespective of the nomenclature that is used by the bank. All right. So nomination facility is provided. So this facility is available for all the types of deposit accounts, the articles in safe custody and the safe deposit. In case of the death of the account holder or the owner of the articles, they will make a provision as to whom the deposits will be passed on, the facility will be passed on. So the nomination facility can be availed for the savings and deposit account opened in individual capacity, that is single or joint accounts, as well as the current accounts for sole proprietary concern only. The nomination can be made, cancelled, or varied by the account holder at any time during her or his life. So if they want, they have created a nomination, they can also change it. So what are the features available for all deposit accounts? Can be the nomination can be done in favor of one person only as per the guidelines, but in certain cases up to two persons nomination is also permissible, and nomination can also be made in favor of a minor. Then the right of the nominee to receive payment of the bank arise from the bank arises only after the death of the depositor in the case of a single account, or if it is a joint account, then the death of all the joint account holders, right? Then if we talk about the settlement of claims in respect of deceased depositors, so the banks will make sure they will take due care and caution in establishing the identity of the nominee that have been given in the document, and they will make sure of that they do not, the nominees, they do not face any problems in receiving the payment from the bank, right, as the legal heirs of the deceased depositors. All right, so these are all the provisions. There is a time limit for the settlement of claims not exceeding 15 days from the date of receipt of the claim and the production of proof of death of the depositor. Then access to the safe deposit lockers or return to the safe lockers also, when the banks, after the due diligence, they have made sure the legal heirs are there, they will provide the access. So all of these provisions are there. All right, further, in case the nominees or the survivors or the legal heirs, they wish to continue with the locker facility, for that also the banks may allow, but they may enter into a fresh contract with the nominee, and they will also adhere to the KYC norms in respect of the nominee for continuation of such facility. And that is all. These are all the liability side, the retail liability products which are offered by the banks. But it is very important that you remember that we have to study this in detail, all the advantages, disadvantages, features, the documents that are required, the eligible individuals for opening a type of account or availing a type of facility. For this, you can join the JIB selection batch or the elite plan, which is an all-in-one course available both in English medium as well as bilingual medium. Here it is all in one course, so you'll get 250 plus live classes covering all the four papers of your JIB exam. You will also get full length sectional, case study, and numerical based test. These classes will be in the non-banking hours so that you do not miss any of the live classes. If due to any reason you are unable to attend the live class, you can also watch the recorded videos which are available 24/7. You will get preparation complete from basics to the advanced level. And if you enroll for the course before 27th January, you can use the code RDAY, which is the Republic Day special code, and you can get flat 52% off on your JIB subscription. So the classes have already started of all the papers. So enroll for the course now and avail the benefit of this particular code. Also, an important information, there is a mega webinar live for cracking JIB 2025, which is on 25th January at 6 p.m. So here you will get the module wise syllabus breakdown, the step by step preparation strategy, insider strategy from the topper, and the best study resources, how you can manage your time. A question answer session will also be there. Also, if you register now, you will get a bonus giveaway. So it is very important that you attend this session if you want to crack the JIB in your first attempt in 2025. So that is all for today. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel because these summary videos are very important for your exam preparation. Do not miss any of them. And if you want to join the course, the details are there in the description box. And you can also download the PDF of this particular chapter from the description. I will meet you again with the next chapter. in the next session. Till then, keep studying and all the best.